Hey, brothers and sisters, what's up? This is the Reluctant Abi back again. News and views, views on the news. Another message to preach and teach. And this is going to be a preach and teaching kind of message. And this is going to be how black people in the United States are getting their comeuppance. And it takes a sad story to realize this. All right. This also is going to further show you the direct assault by the laws of many of the state on any Afro man that chooses to defend himself or his family against an Anglo man that is the one that initiates the assault. Think about that for a minute. Now, the first part of what I said about the comeuppance of the Afro peoples and the black people in the United States, and not necessarily the Afro people, because we have awakened and understand that the Democratic Party really never meant anything for anybody. We understood that politics don't work by party lines. And any voter that think that they should vote along party lines for anything because it's going to get something done, they're foolish. Any voter voting at all that's Afro indigenous is foolish. We're only 8% of the population. And on a national level, that don't mean very much, so no one really has to cater to you. The one main thing that's happening as a result of this latest stand your ground law story is someone figured out that we have to hurt these businesses that hurt us. Not marching, not electing, not going out to vote. If we can't live, then neither should any businesses. If you can't protect us, well, if we're not allowed to protect ourselves, that's basically what I'm saying. If we as a people are not allowed to protect ourselves, then all the business should close down and stop making money. We need to go back to how we dealt with Montgomery Ward and all the rest of that. We don't need to be marching out in the street. And that's the problem. They'll let you march anywhere so long as you don't harm their money. And they don't care. They took a life. Your life don't mean anything to these Caucasian people running their Caucasian governments, especially in Florida. Especially in Florida. They have shown you over and over again that when an Anglo man initiates an assault on an Afro man that doesn't have a gun, and understand when they get this bravery to initiate the assault, is when they are armed and know that the Afro man is not. Zimmerman case, and now this new case. All right, now let's talk about the first part of what I said about the Afro people's comeuppance. Because I'm going to show you why nothing is going to be done. And this is going to keep on happening. See, black people, well, Afro people, we understand. So we're getting away from the black people. We're separating. But the black people, you don't understand. You shot yourself in the foot to have any say even about something as egregious as this because the same racism that is responsible for this man's death, you did the same thing. Tell you how you did it. And when you did it, though, You clamped down on the people that could have had a voice to prevent this kind of mess from happening. Oh, yeah, you ate your own. How did you do that, though? We'll deal with this story and see how we could have stopped this stuff from happening had it not been for black people. First, let's get those thumbs up to donate. Hit my PayPal me link in the description box. Y'all see what I do in the communities, right? Like, share, subscribe, and when you subscribe, click that bell. This channel is very important. That's why these people keep trying to keep taking it down. Because this is going to educate you in a way that everyone else is afraid to do it. Because they're in it for the money. They're in it for the popularity. I'm in it so that the brothers and sisters can get out. And when we get out, so that we can organize as a community within each other, but know how to run the community in a godly kind of way. And when I say godly, we are Yehuda, those who praise Yah. All right? And so we need to get back to that, get back to those commandments. But we need to be educated, not by the system, by wisdom, to know how to navigate through this system. The black people don't want that education. As a matter of fact, when you try to educate them, they try to tear you down. All right. They won't fund, they won't donate. That's okay. The brothers that's helping me out now and the sisters, thank you, sisters. Thank you, brothers. The brothers and sisters that are helping me out, we're getting stuff done, even with the little bit we get. But stuff is getting done. All right, so thank y'all on that. But my donation link will be in the description box, along with the link to the story. All right. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to this story. And I'm going to show you how black people shot themselves in the foot. How we could have had advocates speak on our behalf with this administration. But we shot ourselves in the foot. Well, not we, they. I'm smart enough not to live in a state like Florida. It's very, the state is, Florida is very discriminatory. All right. And their laws are overtly discriminating against Afro men, black men, men of melanin, the Aboriginal, the indigenous. Their laws are directly discriminating against them intentionally. All right. Now, let's pay attention to how. I want y'all to understand some things.
Florida's controversial Stand Your Ground law is the subject of new scrutiny as family members of a Clearwater man call for justice. Mourners held a vigil for Marquise McLaughlin, who was killed Thursday. McLaughlin had pushed another man to the ground after that man began yelling and confronting McLaughlin's girlfriend over where she was parked.
Now, I wanted to freeze this here so that you could see that the man he pushed to the ground was in the windshield of the woman's car, yelling at the woman and the children inside the car. All right. He should be charged with premeditated murder. The Caucasian man should be charged with premeditated murder. The sheriff in this town should be charged too, or at least fired. Because the sheriff decided to forget all the details that you just saw before the push to the ground incident, that the man was up in the face of a woman and the children that was protected by a man, so his loved ones, right?
Police say they will not.
Police say they will not file charges because of the shove. I want y'all to understand that. Now, it is at this point, the Caucasian man from the ground reaches out, gets his weapon, as the Afro man is in retreat and shoots him anyway. That's premeditated murder. He cannot say. Now, if you look at the film, I'm not going to put it here because Google is taking down black men's channels because they're discriminatory too. All right, and they're looking for any little thing, but you need to see this. All right, I'll put the whole video again if you haven't seen it. It's on Facebook of this news report. As a matter of fact, this is a news report, so you could put it on the news. But a black man, an Afro man, or an indigenous man or Aboriginal man cannot put it on YouTube without being struck. Funny, huh? But news reporters can put the whole thing on YouTube. All right? But I want y'all to understand something as you see this. All right? Now, let's go on to the next spot. Hold on.
Florida's controversial Stand Your Ground law is the subject of new scrutiny as family members of a Clearwater man call for justice. Mourners held a vigil for Marquise McLaughlin, who was killed Thursday. McLaughlin had pushed another man to the ground after that man began yelling and confronting McLaughlin's girlfriend over where she was parked. Police say they will not.
All right, you see he started to back up. Now, so the man shoots the man, and the police said that they will not file charges against the man because when the scary black man shoved the white man who initiated the whole thing by approaching the car of women and children, that the man who is in a relationship with the women, who's in the car with those children, had the right to defend. You know, because that's an American right, the right to defend your family. That's why we have the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is the right to defend yourself against the government or anybody that will try to rob you of your liberties from and rob the safety away from your family. This is why we have the Second Amendment. But in this case, we have the Caucasian man that goes up. Now, let's make the picture a little clearer. The Caucasian man goes up, so he should be guilty of assault and murder. He goes up to the woman's car because of where she is parked with a gun in his pocket, ready to pull and kill. If any black person, as he would call it, said anything he didn't like. Why? Because the Stand Your Ground law, even though he's the one that is starting the assault, like Zimmerman, he's the one that ran after somebody, attacked them, and then shot them. This guy is the one that initiated this whole thing, and he felt like he could walk up to somebody's car, because they didn't know it, but he knew the whole time that he had a gun, armed and ready to use it on anybody. He's the one that's guilty of assault. So what do?
But McLaughlin's loved ones marched on the convenience store yesterday, calling on state or federal authorities to intervene.
So they marched on the convenience store. All right, here we go.
But McLaughlin's loved ones marched on the convenience store yesterday, calling on state or federal authorities to
intervene.
So what is all this intervening going to do? Now let's look at the sheriff. The sheriff of Pinellas County cited Florida's so-called stand your ground law in declining to charge Michael Drejka, who authorities says shot Marquise McLaughlin last week in the parking lot outside the convenience store in Clearwater, Florida. All right, now here's the problem with the sheriff, and this is why he needs to be fired, and this is why this whole county needs to be sued. This is why Afro peoples, if they want any justice, they should start by shutting down that store from being able to make any money at all. Period. Any money at all. And this is why. Mr. Drejka, according to this news report, initiated a heated argument. Heated. So it's heated because he comes up to the car with a gun in his pocket. So he's the one that is starting the assault because he has a gun in his pocket. So Mr. Drejka initiated the heated argument with Mrs. Glockton's girlfriend on July 29th over whether she was permitted to park in a handicapped parking spot. Now, in all probability, she should not have parked there. This was a case where she probably should have been fined, but nobody should have died. Sheriff Bob Guattieri of Pinellas County said that in a news conference the next day, Mr. Drejka, who is white, eventually shot and killed Mr. McLaughlin, who was black, resigning to debate over the flawed Florida law. I said flawed. In a letter sent to Attorney General Jeff Sessions on Friday, Senator Bill Nelson, Democrat of Florida, asked the Justice Department to open up an investigation into the killing of Mr. McLaughlin. Senators Kamala D. Harris of California and Cory Booker of New Jersey also signed on to the letter, as did two Florida members of the House of Representatives, Charlie Crist and Alec L. Hastings. Let me say something. I kept telling people that black people keep shooting themselves in the foot because in order to get anything done legislatively, you need a senator to get something started. If you put the fire under a senator, understand this, then you could do something. These members in the Black Caucus in the House don't amount to nothing, especially if they're the minority party. Remember I said how black people shot themselves in the foot? Remember I said that this stuff will keep happening because we keep shooting ourselves in the foot? One, we don't have a spiritual leg to stand on. Look at the picture. So a man that was protecting that woman and child leaves a void for what you see left. A boy that's going to grow up confused because they keep eliminating good, protective Afro men from the population. Think about that for a minute. The men that protect are the ones being eliminated from the population. All right? And you think about this. Are you saying that if the Afro woman or the black woman, because we don't know which one she is, but the black woman in a car, if she had a gun in a car, she would have been able to use it on the white man and not be charged because he came up to her car? Is the United States and the state of Florida saying that if you are what they call a black man, you're not allowed to protect yourself or your family against a white man that is assaulting or causing a problem with your family? And this is clearly a case of assault because he went up there and started a heated argument with the woman because he was armed. The white man did. Mr. Dredge initiated all of this because he was armed against people he knew were unarmed. Because most Afro peoples do not have gun permits. You got some that do, but most do not. And we know that the laws in Florida work sideways for Afro peoples. All right? Think about this. This is a clear case of murder. Y'all remember this? I put hit this picture up is because of all the people that caught back a backlash for even meeting with Trump. This was the dude that said F all of y'all, and rightfully so. The reason why there is no one to speak on no one's behalf ever, because the Democrats already got you in the bag. So they don't have to do crap for you. The black women eliminated much of the population through abortion since 1973 and dwindled it down to where we're only 8% of the total population in the United States. All right. Now, keep this in mind. That is a very insignificant number for voters, right? When you murder through abortion over 22 million of the population, you're taking out more than just the 22 million that you did not allow to come out of your belly. How did I come to these figures? For you people, go look it up. The current abortion rate, or what it was as of 2016, was 58 million. And of that, and look at this is how you're going to be able to look it up. The black women accounted for 37% of that 58 million. You do the math. 37% of the 58 million equals over 22 million. That's not counting the state of California, New Hampshire, and Maryland. If you count them, you would probably be well up to 50 million of us destroyed in the womb by the black woman. More than everything else that has killed us in the United States since 1973 combined. Now, think about this. With all that, we're in decline as a population because of the black woman. All right. Now, And I say that because everything else that has not done the damage that she does. Now, this is where I'm going with this. That's why we're 8% instead of 15, 20% of the population. Our numbers are insignificant when it comes to the vote. We were done in by our own, numerically. When you don't have the numbers, you don't have the soldiers, or you don't have the voters. Take your pick. When a new guy comes in, and just because you don't like him, the first guy to actually reach out to people in the entertainment sect, because he came from that, in the religious sect, because he's trying to curry favor. His ego says he wants to be liked by everybody. And the first thing that the women-led black community did is ostracize Afro men and women, even for meeting with this guy, because they were upset in their feelings because their woman, who really did say some racist stuff about Afro children, lost. And I put the video up, and even then, instead of watching the video and understanding that, okay, yes, this woman was racist, but she's still our girl. We don't care how racist she is against our children. See? So now you have no political capital. You have no one that really wants to stand up for you because of what happened the last time Afro men tried to stand up for the community and talk with the people. Well, they probably didn't agree with on a political basis, but they said, we want to have a conversation. They said, yeah, let's have this conversation. But the black women-led black community said, F a conversation. We do not allow you to talk to anybody. Now when their life is taken, if you look back, we probably could have had some advocates to deal with this Florida law. But now we don't have crap. Thank you, BAW. So what do you think about it? I want to hear your thoughts in the description box. Not the description box. Look in the description box for the news report. But I would like to hear your thoughts in the comment section. All right? With that said, I'm out.